Good afternoon. Today's my topic is GB syndrome, that is Guillain-Barré syndrome. Now, what do you mean by GB syndrome? Actually, GB syndrome is a neurological disorder and it is very rare condition in India. But still, we do have to know that what is GB syndrome and what actually affects in GB syndrome. We can say that it is an autoimmune disease. Autoimmune means our immunity our immune system is getting attacked by our uh, antibodies. So, marked by an inflammation of the peripheral nerves affecting arms and legs. This one is the nerve, and this one is the myelin sheath. So, when the myelin sheath is damaged, then there will be the fiber will be exposed, due to which there will be no signal transfer from one part to the other part. It involved destruction of the myelin sheath surrounding and largest, most myelinated sensory and motor fibers, resulting in disrupted proprioception and weakness, due to which weakness occurs or motor or sensory function will be lost. What will be the etiological condition? Actually, it is idiopathic, that why demyelination occur and why it is a kind of demyelination or damaged nerve. So neither contagious and it is not hereditary. Inappropriate immune response should be there, and possibly vaccine casualty means if we are giving any kind of vaccine to a patient, might be from that autoimmune disease can occur, or might be there are many kind of you know there are many kind of these etiological factors which can lead to GB syndrome. So some of these are this one: inappropriate immune response, possible vaccine, possible means it can be caused by many viruses like influenza virus or Zika virus, might be hepatitis A, B, and C, HIV, the virus caused by AIDS, and mycoplasma pneumonia. So it is also a contagious disease, and you know that, like what should be the pathophysiology? Like GB syndrome is really a kind of disease in which it is rare, first of all, and it is a severe disease. Actually, it occurs after the acute infectious procedure. Means if we are doing any kind of procedure or infectious procedure, due to which there will be the, like, C. gigeni is a bacteria due to which these kind of Gibbon syndromes occur, and our immune response will be depressed, due to which these antigen and antibody reaction will be there, and it will lead to the GB syndrome. It initially affects the peripheral nervous system. Normally, it is an acute form. It is acute from the paralysis in the lower body area that moves towards the upper limb and face, and gradually the patient loses all his reflexes. Means what kind of uh, the cranial nerve is involved, it will lead to that kind of that kind of uh, symptom. No, and gradually patient loses all his and her reflexes and goes through a complete body paralysis. Might be the patient can have the complete body paralysis. It is also a life-threatening disorder and needs to be treated immediately with the immunoglobulin. Means if the what we are going to do, if we are giving, and if the patient is immunosuppressed, then what we are doing, we are giving we don't give them immunosuppression. We just give them immunoglobulin so that their immunity will be increased and there will be no any kind of danger to the patient life. So next one is the incident and prevalence. GB syndrome affects 2 per 1 lakh annually, 1500 people per year. Non-discriminatory, can affect the person of any gender or any age and with the ethnic background. What could be the sign and symptoms? Sign and symptom, like I told you before, that what kind of cranial nerve is involved, the function of that nerve will be impaired, and that will be the clinical manifestation. So we can say that some of the signs and symptoms are numbness and tingling in the hand and feet. Tingling sensation means tingling sensation means a kind of any sensation in which like we used to face like somebody pinpointing on our fingers. And second one is distal progression. In distal progression means there will be weakness in our muscles and their flexes will not be proper. There will be, but it will be not proper as we see in normal human being. Then proprioception may be there. Proprioception means exercise to improve the balance. Actually, the patient won't be able to stand on his feet. He will find difficulty in balancing or standing. So for after this one, for some progresses to the trunk, because the nerves are spreaded to all over the body. So for some progresses to the trunk, face and cranial nerves, resulting in their difficulty. If it is towards the face, then it will be difficulty in swallowing, chewing, speaking, and facial expression will be changed. Like they won't be having any kind of normal facial expression. Might be drooping will be there, might be swelling will be there. Now these kind of changes, symptoms these kind of patient will show. Next one is deep aching pain or hypersensitivity to touch. Yeah, hypersensitivity to touch and deep aching pain might be there, or there will maybe fatigue or high blood pressure or abnormal heart rhythm can be there, or fast rhythm can be there. Then there will be a shortness of breath, or as I told you, slow reflexes can be there, and uncomfortable tingling and burning or urinary retention will be there. All right. So actually in the symptoms starts with weakness and tingling of sensation in the feet and the leg that will spread to the upper body, and maybe or may not the paralysis will occur, but actually it's not a paralysis. It's due to the improper signal transfer from one neuron to another neuron due to the demyelination of the myelin sheath. Next comes the prognosis. 80% of the people having the complete recovery, and recovery may last from 2 months to 2 years. And the third distinct phase, that is acute, is for 4 weeks. The plateau, second one comes for few days to few weeks, and recovery, that is a gradual improvement. Means if we are going to see the prognosis, it is good. It's not like the prognosis is poor. We can treat the patient and we can make the patient healthy. Yeah. So next comes, what will be the diagnostic evaluation? Means in the diagnostic evaluation, these tests include the physical and neurological examination. Like in physical examination, what we are going to do, we are going to check the reflexes, we are going to check the physical condition, like physical expression of the patient, and then we have to see for if there is any kind of muscle weakness. I am actually talking about the physical examination. Sorry. And afterwards we have to check the weakness. If there is any kind of weakness to his arms or legs, if the patient is feeling like fatigue, or if the patient is having high blood pressure, we have to check for the physical, present medical history and past medical history, present surgical history, past surgical history. We have to check. Is there any kind of when you are going to assess the vital signs, we have to see whether the patient is having any kind of abnormal rhythm or not, or shortness of breath will be there or not. We have to check it out. Then afterwards, in history examination, we have to check for the history, what happened to the patient, was there any kind of present or past medical history. And then comes the LP. We have to do the LP. LP is meant by the lumbar puncture. In L4 and 5, we used to insert the needle, due to which we draw the CSF from the L4 and L5, Then the CSF is actually analyzed for the number of white and red blood cells, that how much of white blood cells are there and how much of red blood cells are there. Then comes the computer tomography, that is CT scan. We have to go for the CT scan, either is there any kind of injury or any kind of any injury to the secondary to this GB syndrome. If it is there, then might be the patient can have this one, GB syndrome. What should be the medical management? For the medical management, firstly we have to relieve the sign and symptom of the patient, like I told you, muscle weakness, and that it is a immunity, it is an immunological disease due to which our immune system gets involved. So what we are going to do, we can give the patient some special blood treatment like plasma exchange or immunoglobulin therapy we have to give, like intravenously, in which it prevents the immune system from further attacking Schwann cells and myelin by blocking the receptors and macrophages. Plasmapheresis we have to do, in which it filters the blood plasma to remove antibodies. Actually, what we are going to do, plasmapheresis means that is the filtration of the blood plasma to remove the antibodies and aids in replacing the lost blood. It is a very effective therapy, the plasmapheresis, which are actually used in the hospital in India as well, and all over the world it is very useful. Then corticosteroids. Actually, it is an anti-inflammatory disease, and the normal corticosteroid injection is hydrocortisone, as I told you earlier in 12 my recent session, and it inhibits the inflammation associated with the symptom. Means any kind of, if there is any kind of inflammation, then we have to give the corticosteroid to the patient so that all these symptoms will be relieved. So in supportive care, what we are going to do in supportive care, the mechanical ventilation we have to do. Mechanical ventilation, like if the patient is not able to breathe, then we have to give the mechanical ventilation to a patient, mechanical ventilation through a ventilator. And intubation, if the patient is not able to breathe properly, then what we have to do, intubation, that is endotracheal intubation. We have to insert a endotracheal tube inside the trachea, and then we have to attach it with the ventilator so that the patient heart rate, the patient breathing system will not be hindered. Alright, these kind of supportive therapies we have to give while treating these patients. If the symptoms are worse, if the symptoms are worse, then I am telling you the treatment for this. Alright, so next one is what should be the impact on the client. The impact on the client is there will be a limited physical mobility, like patient will not be able to run as the patient was running earlier, or not be able to do that kind of heavy work what he used to do earlier. So these kind of treatment we have to give, and like which increase the physical mobility of the patient. Physical therapy we have to give, like the physiotherapist, we have to ask them and give these patients the physiotherapy. It increase actually the muscle strength through strengthening and mobilization of the exercise, and it can also improve and balance the mobility through the assessment and different aids and posture re-education. We have, due to this we can reduce the muscle stiffness as well as spasm and pain through stretching stretching program. Means if the patient is having these kind of symptoms, we can send the physiotherapist to him so that he should suggest some kind of physiotherapist stretching program, due to which the stretching will be done and the patient will relieve from his symptoms. Now what else we can do? We can go for many kind of treatment undergone these we actually in the GB syndrome patient, it is generally good. Most patient recovers fully, although it can take months or years to regain the pre-illness strength and movement. But about 30% of patients still have some weakness 3 years after the illness or strikes. So it's not a big issue. The patient can have this GB syndrome, but the cause I told you that it is idiopathic. Inability is meaningful occupation because of the pain, extreme muscle weakness in arms and legs, and fatigue. Sensory function is impaired. So sensory functions will be impaired. Using cultural context to structure intervention activity. Excuse me. These are some kind of references what we had seen from the book to the internet. We had put all these material. So last time what we are going to do, we are just going to summarize the topic. We had studied about the GB syndrome. It is actually a neurological disorder and it is autoimmune disorder in which the demyelination of the nerve cell will be there. Neuron will be there. Then we had seen the etiological factors. It is idiopathic, but some of the etiological factors I had told you. Then we had gone for the pathophysiological condition or the pathophysiology, how actually it occurs. Then the incidence and prevalence rate I had told you. Then I had told you the signs and symptoms of this one. Course and prognosis I had told you. Then we had done for the diagnostic treatment, what kind of diagnostic treatment we are going to give to the patient. Then we had seen the medical management and the surgical management. Then we had seen the impact on the client, what all are the impact. Now the assignment for today is you have to write the 5 nursing diagnoses at least and interventions for GB syndrome. What kind of, like, I'll give an example, like if a patient comes to you in emergency with this kind of symptom, like the patient is having blurred vision, or the patient is having drooping of the face, or placid rigidity, or with the loss of reflexes. So how you are going to assess the patient is having GB syndrome? So just criteria wise you have to write the intervention and the diagnosis. For any queries, kindly contact me. Thank you. Have a nice day.